The summer heat clung to Brooklyn like a second skin. Inside the Riverside Community Clinic, the ancient air conditioning unit rattled and wheezed, fighting a losing battle. Alex Perry wiped her forehead with the back of her hand, her dark ponytail swaying as she moved between examination rooms. 23 and tireless, she had learned to see hope in the hollow eyes of patients who paid in loose change and whispered prayers. The antiseptic smell mixed with sweat and desperation. Fluorescent lights flickered overhead, casting uneven shadows across cracked linoleum floors. This place was no Manhattan hospital. Here, healing happened in broken pieces, stitched together with compassion and donated supplies. Alex loved it. She emerged from room 3, updating a chart when she felt it. That shift in the air that made her look up. The waiting room had gone quiet. Even the crying baby had paused mid-wail. Nathaniel Bradford stood by the reception desk, his tailored suit crisp despite the heat, his expensive watch catching the dying light. He looked like he had walked off a magazine cover and into the wrong neighborhood. His dark hair was perfect. His posture was confident. But his eyes told a different story. They were searching, desperate, lost. Their gazes locked. Time stuttered. "Miss?" The receptionist's voice broke the spell. "This gentleman's car broke down outside. Can he wait here while the tow truck comes?" Alex found her voice. "Of course. Take a seat anywhere." Nathaniel moved past her. For just a second, their shoulders almost touched. The air between them felt electric, charged with something neither could name. She watched him settle into a plastic chair between a mother with 3 children and an elderly man coughing into his fist. He didn't belong here, but something in the way he carefully avoided eye contact with everyone, the way his hands gripped his knees, made her wonder if he belonged anywhere at all. 3 days passed. Alex tried to forget him. She failed. On Friday evening, as her shift ended, she stepped out front for air. The city breathed smoke and car exhaust, but it was better than the clinic's stale, recycled oxygen. She sat on the concrete steps, unwrapping a convenience store sandwich, when a shadow fell across her lap. "You're back." She didn't look up, but her heart kicked against her ribs. "I wanted to make a donation." Nathaniel's voice was smooth, educated, careful. "The clinic helped me. I want to help back." "That's generous." Alex took a bite of her sandwich, still not meeting his eyes. "The donation box is inside." "I know." He paused. "Can I sit?" She shifted over. He sat, and suddenly the steps felt smaller, the evening more intimate. He smelled like cedar and something expensive she couldn't name. It made her hyper-aware of her worn scrubs and tired face. "You don't want to be here," Alex said. It wasn't a question. "What makes you say that?" "The way you hold yourself. Like you're pretending to be comfortable, but you're actually scanning for exits." Nathaniel laughed, surprised. "That obvious?" "I work with people in crisis every day. I've learned to read body language." He turned to face her fully. Up close, his eyes were gray-green, the color of the ocean before a storm. "I feel like I've been scanning for exits my entire life." Something in his honest admission cracked open a door in Alex's chest. She set down her sandwich. "What are you running from?" "Expectations. A life that was decided for me before I was born. A future where every choice has already been made." He looked at his hands. "I'm 28 years old, and I've never made a single real decision." "You decided to come back here," Alex said softly. "Did I?" His eyes found hers again. "Or did something pull me back?" The question hung between them, heavy with meaning neither dared to name. "I'm Alex. Nathaniel." He smiled, and it transformed his face. "Can I take you to dinner? I have a $9 sandwich right here." "Then can I sit with you while you eat it?" Alex studied him. Every instinct warned her that this man was trouble, that their worlds didn't align, that nothing good could come from this. But something stronger than instinct was whispering yes. "You can stay," she said. "But only if you tell me the truth. No performance, no pretending. What do you want to know?" "Why you really came back," Nathaniel's facade cracked. Vulnerability flooded his features. "Because when our eyes met 3 days ago, it was the first time in my life I felt seen. Really seen, not as a name or a bank account, but as a person. And I've been thinking about it every minute since. Alex's breath caught. The city noise faded. The clinic, the heat, everything blurred except his face. I feel it too, she whispered. They sat in silence as the sun bled orange across the Brooklyn skyline. Neither moved. Neither wanted to break the spell. Finally, Nathaniel spoke. I need to tell you something. Something that might change how you see me. Alex's stomach tightened. What? My father is Richard Bradford. Bradford Industries. I'm not just some guy with a nice car. My family owns half of Manhattan. And if my father finds out I'm here, with you, he'll destroy everything. The words landed like stones in dark water. Alex stood slowly, her sandwich forgotten. Then why tell me? Because you asked for the truth. He stood too, desperation creeping into his voice. Because I'm tired of lying. Because for once in my life I want something real. Alex's mind raced. She knew that name. Everyone in New York knew Bradford Industries. This wasn't just wealth. This was power, influence, danger. You should go, she said, but her voice wavered. Alex, please. This can't happen. You know it can't. Then why are you crying? She touched her cheek, surprised to find it wet. Because I wanted it to be real too. Nathaniel stepped closer. It is real, this right now. Whatever this is between us, it's the most real thing I've ever felt. The clinic door opened behind them. Someone called Alex's name. Reality crashed back. I have to go. Alex backed toward the door. Will you see me again? She shouldn't. Every logical part of her brain screamed no, but her heart, that traitorous organ, had already decided. Tomorrow, 8 p.m., Washington Square Park, North Fountain. I'll be there. Nathaniel. She paused at the threshold. Don't make me regret this. I won't. I promise. But they both knew that promises between different worlds were written in sand, waiting for the tide to wash them away. The fountain in Washington Square Park caught the last rays of sunset, turning water into liquid gold. Alex arrived 10 minutes early, her heart hammering. She had changed from scrubs into a simple sundress, telling herself it meant nothing, while knowing it meant everything. Nathaniel was already there. He wore jeans and a plain white shirt, the uniform of someone trying to disappear. It almost worked, but there was something in the way he carried himself, an unconscious grace that marked him as different. You came, he said, relief flooding his features. Against my better judgment. They walked, through the arch, past street performers and chess players, into streets where old brownstones leaned together like gossiping neighbors. Nathaniel told her about boarding schools where loneliness wore designer labels. Alex shared stories of growing up in a cramped apartment with 3 siblings, where love was loud and money was silent. I never had that, Nathaniel said quietly. Family dinners were business meetings. My father timed conversations, 30 seconds per topic, efficiency over connection. That sounds like prison. The bars were made of gold, but yes, prison. They found a tiny Italian restaurant where checkered tablecloths competed with old photographs on crowded walls. The owner knew Alex by name, kissing both her cheeks and winking at Nathaniel. Over pasta and cheap wine, they peeled back layers, revealing wounds and dreams in equal measure. Summer unfurled like a secret between them. Nathaniel would text her coordinates instead of addresses. She would find him in hidden gardens, on abandoned piers, in corners of the city where nobody looked twice. They created a world where his last name didn't matter, and her bank account was irrelevant. One night, under stars you could barely see through light pollution, they lay on a beach in Queens. Sand stuck to their skin. The water whispered against the shore. Tell me something you've never told anyone, Alex said. Nathaniel was quiet for a long time. I think about running away. Getting on a plane to somewhere my father's money means nothing. Starting over as just Nathaniel, not Nathaniel Bradford. What stops you? Fear, duty, the knowledge that my mother would be devastated. He turned his head to look at her. Until I met you, I thought those were enough reasons to stay trapped. And now? Now I wonder if there's a third option. A life where I don't run, but I also don't surrender. Where I choose something for myself. Alex propped herself on one elbow, studying his profile. That's dangerous thinking for a Bradford. You make me want to be dangerous. He kissed her then, and it felt like falling and flying simultaneously. Salt on their lips from ocean spray, sand scratching their skin, the city's distant roar competing with their heartbeats. But summer in New York burns fast and bright, consuming itself. In late August, reality began pressing at the edges of their bubble. Nathaniel grew distracted, checking his phone with increasing frequency. Alex would catch him staring at nothing, jaw tight, hands clenched. "What's wrong?" she asked one evening. They were in his car, parked under the Brooklyn Bridge, watching boats navigate dark water. "My father wants to see me. He knows something. I don't know how, but he knows." Fear iced Alex's veins. "About us?" He didn't say directly, but he called personally. He never does that unless it's serious. Nathaniel's knuckles went white on the steering wheel. "He wants me at the estate tomorrow. Don't go. I have to. If I don't, he'll come looking. And if he comes to Brooklyn, if he finds you..." Nathaniel's voice broke. "Alex, you don't understand what my father is capable of. He doesn't just ruin people. He erases them. Then we stop. Right now, we end this before it gets worse." "Is that what you want?" Alex's throat burned. "What I want doesn't matter if it puts my family in danger." "Everything you want matters." Nathaniel grabbed her hand. "I'll handle my father. I'll make him understand that I'm done living his life. That I choose you. Nathaniel, don't be stupid. I'm in love with you." The words exploded into the small space between them. "I'm in love with you. And I'm done pretending that what we have isn't worth fighting for." Alex felt tears streaming down her face. "I love you too, which is why I'm terrified." They held each other as the city lights blurred through tears. Neither spoke. Both knew that tomorrow would shatter something irreparable. The Bradford estate sprawled across Connecticut countryside like a marble monument to excess. Nathaniel drove through security gates, past manicured lawns, toward the main house where his father waited. Richard Bradford was in his study. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the grounds. Expensive artwork lined the walls. The man himself sat behind a mahogany desk, silver hair immaculate, suit pressed, eyes cold. "Sit," he commanded. Nathaniel remained standing. "I know why I'm here. Do you?" Richard leaned back, fingers steepled. "Tell me, what possessed you to embarrass this family by slumming in Brooklyn with some clinic nurse? Don't talk about her like that." "I'll talk about her however I please." "She's nothing. A nobody from nowhere with no prospects and no value." "She's worth more than everyone in this family combined." Richard's smile was razor thin. "Ah, so it's love. How tedious." He opened a folder, slid photographs across the desk. Alex leaving her apartment. Alex at the clinic. Alex with her family at a park. I know everything about Alex Perry. Her student loans. Her mother's medical bills. Her youngest brother's scholarship application. Nathaniel's blood turned to ice. "What are you doing?" "I'm giving you a choice. You end this relationship immediately and go to London for the business program. 2 years. No contact with her. Or I destroy her family. Her mother's medical debt becomes public. Her brother loses his scholarship. The clinic where she works loses its funding. I'll make sure every door in healthcare closes to her." "You're bluffing." "Am I?" Richard pressed a button. A screen descended from the ceiling, showing legal documents, financial records, investigation reports. "I've already started the process. 1 phone call and it's done." Nathaniel felt his world collapsing. "She has nothing to do with your problems with me. She has everything to do with it. She's a distraction, a liability, a poor choice that reflects badly on this family." Richard stood, walking around the desk. "You think this is love? It's infatuation. You'll get over her in 6 months, but her? She'll spend years crawling out of the hole I'm about to throw her family into. I won't let you do this. You already have, by being selfish enough to pursue her in the first place." Richard's voice turned almost gentle, which made it more terrifying. "I'm not the villain here, Nathaniel. You are. You knew what would happen. You knew your choices have consequences. And still, you dragged that girl into our world. Now you have to decide. Your happiness or her family's survival." Nathaniel looked at the photographs. Alex smiling. Alex laughing. Alex with her siblings. He thought about her mother's cancer treatments. Her brother's dreams of college. The clinic that served hundreds who had nowhere else to go. How long do I have to decide? Tonight. You leave for London tomorrow morning, or I make the calls tonight. I need to say goodbye. No. Richard's voice was steel. You disappear. Ghost her. She'll hate you for a while, but she'll survive. If you see her again, if you try to explain, you'll weaken, and her family will pay. You're a monster. I'm a father protecting his son from making a catastrophic mistake. Richard returned to his desk. The car leaves at 6 a.m. Be packed and ready, or be responsible for destroying an innocent family. Your choice. Nathaniel stumbled from the study, his phone burning in his pocket. 17 missed calls from Alex, 12 texts. Each one a knife twisting deeper. He couldn't call her, couldn't explain, couldn't give her closure. Because if he heard her voice, if she asked him to stay, he would, and her family would be destroyed because of him. In his childhood bedroom, surrounded by expensive things that meant nothing, Nathaniel Bradford made the hardest decision of his life. He would disappear. He would let her hate him. He would carry the weight of their unfinished story alone. Because sometimes love meant sacrifice, and sometimes sacrifice looked like betrayal. At midnight, he blocked her number. At 3 a.m., he deleted every photo. At 6 a.m., he got in the car to the airport, leaving his heart buried in Brooklyn streets. Alex stood on the steps of the clinic, clutching her phone, as dawn broke over the city. She had called 40 times, sent 30 messages, each one bounced back unanswered. He was gone, just gone, like she had imagined everything. Her supervisor found her there 2 hours later, still staring at her phone, tears dried on her cheeks. Alex, honey, come inside. He left. Her voice was hollow. He said he loved me and then he just left. She didn't cry. Couldn't. The pain was too big for tears, too complete for expression. It lived in her bones now, a permanent ache that would color everything that came after. What she didn't know was that across the Atlantic, Nathaniel Bradford sat in a London apartment, holding his phone, her blocked number glowing on the screen. He pressed his forehead against the cold window and whispered into empty air. I'm sorry. God, Alex, I'm so sorry. But sorry couldn't cross an ocean. Sorry couldn't undo betrayal. Sorry was just another word for goodbye. London rain fell like accusations. Nathaniel stood at his apartment window, watching droplets race down glass, wondering if Alex was watching rain in Brooklyn too. Probably not. It had been 6 months. She had likely moved on, forgotten him, hated him enough to stop wondering why. He hoped so. God, he hoped so. His phone buzzed. His father, always his father. The London program ends next week. Richard Bradford's voice was crisp through the speaker. You've done well. Maintained distance. Proven you can make rational decisions. Time to come home. I'm not ready. Ready doesn't matter. The board expects you back. We have the merger to finalize. Your presence is required. Find someone else. Silence. Then dangerously quiet. Excuse me? I said find someone else. I'm not coming back to run your empire. We had an agreement. 2 years abroad, then you return. Honor your commitments. Nathaniel's laugh was bitter. Like you honored anything? You manipulated me. Threatened an innocent woman's family. Made me abandon someone I loved. And you call that an agreement? I saved you from ruining your life. No, you ruined it in a different way. But you know what? I'm done. Keep your company. Keep your money. I don't want any of it. You're upset. We'll discuss this when you're home. I'm not coming home. The line went dead. Nathaniel knew he had just declared war. His father didn't lose, didn't accept defiance. The retaliation would be swift and calculated. He had 3 days before his father could freeze his accounts, revoke his credit cards, cut him off completely. 3 days to disappear into the kind of life his father could never reach. Or 3 days to do something stupider. He booked a flight to New York. Brooklyn in winter was gray and biting. Nathaniel stood outside the Riverside Community Clinic, collar up against the wind, watching through the window. The clinic looked the same. Same flickering lights, same crowded waiting room, same exhausted hope clinging to every surface. Then he saw her. Alex, thinner than he remembered. Hair longer, pulled into a messy bun. dark circles under her eyes that made him ache. But alive, working, moving through the clinic with practiced efficiency, beautiful. God, she was still so beautiful. He almost walked away. She deserved peace, deserved to move forward without him crashing back into her life like a wrecking ball. But he had crossed an ocean, stood here for 3 hours, and he needed her to know the truth. The clinic closed at 7. He waited. Nurses and doctors filtered out, heading into the night. Then Alex emerged, locking the door behind her, phone pressed to her ear. "Mom, I told you I'm fine. Yes, I'm eating. No, you don't need to worry." She paused. "I love you too." She ended the call, turned, froze. Their eyes met across 20 feet of sidewalk. "Alex." His voice cracked. She didn't move, didn't speak, just stared at him like he was a ghost. Then her face transformed. Shock melted into fury so pure it stopped his heart. "No." She stepped back. "No, you don't get to do this. Please, let me explain." "Explain what? How you ghosted me, blocked my number, vanished like I meant nothing?" Her voice rose, attracting glances from passers-by. "I called you for 3 weeks straight. I thought something happened to you. I went to your building. Security had me removed. I know. I'm sorry." "Sorry?" She laughed, sharp and broken. "You're sorry? Well, that fixes everything." "My father threatened your family." The words tumbled out, desperate. "He had files on your mother's medical debt, your brother's scholarship. He was going to destroy everything if I didn't leave. I had no choice." Alex's face went white. "What?" "He gave me an ultimatum. Disappear and go to London, or watch him systematically ruin your family's lives. Your mom would lose her insurance. Your brother would lose his scholarship. The clinic would lose its funding. He showed me exactly how he'd do it. Legal documents, financial leverage. He doesn't make empty threats, so you just left. Without a word, without giving me a choice?" "What choice was there? Let you know so you could sacrifice your family trying to save us? Watch you suffer knowing I was the reason?" Nathaniel stepped closer. "I couldn't do that to you." "You don't think abandonment was suffering?" Tears streamed down her face now. "You don't think I died inside wondering what I did wrong? If I wasn't good enough? If everything between us was a lie?" "It wasn't a lie. Alex, nothing about us was a lie. Then why are you here now? Why come back and tear open old wounds?" "Because I'm done running. Done letting my father control my life. I quit, cut myself off. I have about 72 hours before I'm completely broke, but I don't care. I needed you to know the truth. That I loved you. That I never stopped loving you. That leaving you destroyed me just as much." Alex wiped her eyes, composure cracking. "You can't just show up after 6 months and expect me to forgive you." "I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm asking you to understand why I did what I did. You made that choice alone. You decided what I could handle. You treated me like I was too fragile to face the truth. I was trying to protect you. I didn't need protection. I needed you." Her voice broke completely. "I needed you to trust me enough to tell me the truth and let me decide what to do. Instead, you disappeared and made me feel like I was crazy for thinking what we had mattered." Nathaniel felt his own tears coming. It mattered. It still matters. Every day I was gone, I thought about you, wondered if you were okay, hated myself for hurting you. But I thought the hurt of abandonment was better than the hurt of watching your family destroyed because of me. That wasn't your decision to make. I know that now, but then I was terrified. My father has unlimited resources and zero conscience. He would have done exactly what he threatened, and I couldn't live with that, not when there was another option. Alex looked at him for a long moment. The anger in her eyes mixed with something else. Pain, exhaustion. Maybe buried deep, a flicker of the love they once shared. "What do you want from me, Nathaniel?" "Nothing. Everything. I don't know." He ran hands through his hair. "I wanted you to know the truth. That's all. You deserve to know it wasn't your fault. That you didn't do anything wrong. That I was a coward who chose sacrifice over honesty. You were a coward." The words cut, but her tone was softer. "But you were also trapped. And maybe I understand that more than I want to admit. Alex, I spent 6 months hating you, building walls so high nothing could get through. I dated other people, tried to move on. Told myself you were just another rich guy who played with a poor girl's heart. She stepped closer. But I couldn't forget you. Couldn't stop looking for you in crowds. Couldn't stop wondering if what we had was real. It was real. The most real thing in my life. Then why does it hurt so much? Because real things have weight. They leave marks, and what we had was heavy enough to crush us both when it ended. They stood inches apart now, breath misting in cold air. The city roared around them. Cars honked. People rushed past, but in their small bubble, time slowed. I don't know if I can trust you again, Alex whispered. I don't blame you. But I don't know if I can walk away either. What are you saying? I'm saying I'm angry. I'm saying you broke my heart. I'm saying everything logical in my brain tells me to tell you to leave and never come back. She looked up at him. But I'm also saying that my heart never stopped being yours. Alex. Don't make promises. Don't tell me it'll be okay. She grabbed his coat, pulling him close. Just tell me the truth. Are you staying, or is this another temporary goodbye? I'm staying. My father's probably already cutting me off financially. I'll be broke by next week. No trust fund. No connections. Nothing but what I can earn. It's going to be hard and uncertain and probably stupid. But I'm staying. If you'll have me. This is insane. Probably. Your father will retaliate. Let him. I'm done caring what he does. He threatened my family before. What's stopping him now? Nathaniel's jaw tightened. Because I have something now I didn't have then. Documentation. Evidence. I've been collecting proof of his illegal activities for months. One move against your family and I release everything to federal prosecutors. Mutually assured destruction. He touches you, his empire burns. Alex's eyes widened. You've been planning this. Since the day I left. I wasn't just running. I was preparing, learning, building leverage. He cupped her face. I couldn't come back until I could protect you. Until I had enough ammunition to make sure he'd never hurt you again. That's why you stayed away so long. That's why. And because I needed to be sure I was strong enough to walk away from everything. To choose a life with you over a life of wealth. To make the choice I should have made the first time. Alex closed her eyes, leaning into his touch. You're asking me to trust you after you abandoned me. That's asking a lot, I know. And if I say no, if I tell you it's too late, then I walk away and you never see me again. I'll still release the evidence if my father comes after your family, but I'll disappear from your life. His thumb traced her cheekbone. But Alex, please don't say no. Please give me a chance to prove I'm worth the risk. She opened her eyes. In them he saw war, love battling caution, hope fighting fear, everything they could be struggling against, everything that had broken between them. One chance, she whispered. You get one chance. You hurt me again, and we're done forever. Understood? Understood. And we do this slow. We rebuild from scratch. No assumptions. No falling back into old patterns. We start as two people learning to trust each other again. Whatever you need. Alex pulled him down and kissed him. It was angry and desperate and tasted like tears and forgiveness and new beginnings. When they broke apart, both were crying. Don't make me regret this, she said. I won't. I swear I won't. But across the city, in a penthouse office, Richard Bradford stared at security footage of his son kissing that Brooklyn nurse. He smiled, cold, calculating, patient. His son thought he had won, thought he had escaped, thought documentation would protect him. Richard had built an empire by destroying people who underestimated him. His son was about to learn that lesson. And the girl? She was simply collateral damage. He picked up his phone and made a call. It's time. Execute the plan. The war Nathaniel thought he had prepared for was about to begin, and he had no idea his father had been 10 steps ahead all along. The first blow came 3 days after Nathaniel returned. Alex's mother collapsed at work. Heart attack. The hospital bills arrived before the ambulance did. Insurance mysteriously denied coverage. Pre-existing condition clause activated by an anonymous tip. Alex sat in the hospital corridor, holding paperwork that might as well have been a death sentence. $200,000. Her mother was stable but needed surgery. Without insurance, without money, without options. Nathaniel found her there at midnight. She hadn't called him. Hadn't wanted to prove him right about his father's reach. But he came anyway, alerted by the clinic's emergency contact list. How did he do this? Alex's voice was dead. The insurance was fine yesterday. He has people everywhere. Medical boards. Insurance companies. He just pulls strings and people fall. Nathaniel knelt before her. I'll fix this. With what money? You're broke too. I'll find a way. No. Alex stood, papers clutched in white-knuckled hands. This is what I was afraid of. This is why you left in the first place. Your father's war, my family's casualties. Alex, don't. You need to go. Back to London. Back to your father. Make peace. Take the job. Whatever it takes to make him stop. I'm not leaving you again. Then you're condemning my family. She turned, eyes blazing with tears and fury. Don't you see? This was always going to happen. Your father doesn't lose. He'll keep escalating until he destroys everything I love. The only way to stop him is for you to go back. There has to be another way. There isn't. And you know it. She shoved the papers at him. $200,000. That's just the start. Next, it'll be my brother's scholarship. Then the clinic. Then who knows what. He'll keep hurting people until you surrender. So surrender, before more people get hurt because of us. I love you. I know. Her voice cracked. But love isn't enough when it comes with a target on your back. Nathaniel grabbed her shoulders. I have the evidence. I can destroy him, and destroy yourself in the process. Spend years in legal battles while my family suffers. Be realistic, Nathaniel. Your father has unlimited resources. We have nothing. This fight is over before it started, so that's it? We just give up? We accept reality. Alex pulled away. You go back. Play the dutiful son. Take over the company eventually. Live your life, and I'll live mine, separate, safe, alive. That's not a life. That's surrender. Sometimes surrender is survival. They stared at each other across an unbridgeable gap. Love wasn't enough. It had never been enough. Not against power this absolute. Nathaniel left the hospital as dawn broke. He walked Brooklyn streets until his phone buzzed. His father. I assume you've seen what happens when you defy me. You could have killed her mother. No, I could have done much worse. This was a warning. Richard's voice was smooth. The next incident won't be so gentle. Come home, end this farce, or watch everyone she loves systematically destroyed. What do you want? What I've always wanted, you, back where you belong. Running the company, married to someone appropriate. The Bradford legacy secured. And if I agree, you leave her alone? Completely. I'll even ensure her mother's surgery is covered. Anonymous donation. No strings. She'll never know it came from me. Nathaniel closed his eyes. I want it in writing. Don't be naive. You know agreements with me are worthless. But I'm offering you my word. Return home. Commit to the company. And I forget the Brooklyn nurse exists. Keep fighting and I destroy her piece by piece until there's nothing left to save. You're evil. I'm practical. Family is everything. And you're my only son. I'm not losing you to some misguided notion of romance. The line went dead. Nathaniel stood in the middle of a Brooklyn street as the city woke around him. He thought about Alex, her smile, her strength, the way she made him believe in something beyond duty and legacy. Then he thought about her mother in a hospital bed, her brother's dreams, the clinic's fragile survival. Sometimes love meant sacrifice. Sometimes sacrifice looked like walking away. He didn't say goodbye. Couldn't bear to see her face when he left again. Instead, he wrote a letter. Pages and pages of everything he couldn't say out loud. The truth about his choice. The evidence against his father hidden in a safety deposit box. Instructions for accessing it if she ever needed protection. He left it at the clinic. Then he got on a plane to Connecticut. Alex found the letter 3 days later. She read it alone in her apartment, tears streaming onto pages that might as well have been written in blood. The last paragraph destroyed her. I'm choosing you by leaving. I know you'll hate me for it, but your family will live. The clinic will survive. You'll have the life you deserve without me dragging you into darkness. My father wins this battle, but you survive the war. That's all that matters. I'll love you in silence for however long I live. I'm sorry I couldn't be stronger. I'm sorry love wasn't enough. Be happy, Alex. Live the life I can't give you. And know that somewhere, I'm living half a life thinking about the whole one we could have had. She didn't cry after reading it. Couldn't. The pain had evolved beyond tears into something permanent. a scar carved so deep it became part of her foundation. Her mother's surgery happened 2 weeks later. Anonymous donation covered everything. Alex knew where it came from. Hated that she was grateful. Hated that accepting it felt like accepting defeat. Years passed. Alex threw herself into work, finished her pediatric nursing degree, opened a community health initiative in underserved neighborhoods, built a life from the ruins of her broken heart. She dated nice men, good men, men who loved her in simple, uncomplicated ways. But none of them were Nathaniel. None of them understood the shadows in her eyes, or the way she sometimes stared at nothing, lost in memories of a summer that felt like a dream. Nathaniel became Richard Bradford's perfect heir. He ran the company with cold efficiency, made strategic marriages of convenience that ended in quiet divorces, built the empire his father demanded, became exactly what he had feared. But late at night, alone in his penthouse, he would pull out old photographs hidden in a locked drawer. Alex laughing. Alex dancing. Alex looking at him like he was worth something beyond his last name. He never called, never reached out, kept his promise to disappear, but he watched from a distance, made sure her clinic received anonymous funding, ensured her family never faced financial hardship, protected her in the only way he could, from afar, in silence, with love that had nowhere to go but inward. 5 years crawled past. Then Richard Bradford had a stroke. Massive, debilitating. The doctors said he might live, but would never run the company again. Nathaniel found himself suddenly free. Suddenly the undisputed head of Bradford Industries. Suddenly, without the leash that had held him prisoner. His first act was to establish a foundation. Community health care. Full funding for inner-city clinics. Scholarships for nursing students. He didn't name it after himself. He called it the Silent Promise Foundation. Only one person would understand what that meant. His second act was to stand outside the Riverside Community Clinic on a cold November evening. 5 years after he had walked away, hands shaking, heart racing, terrified of what he might find inside. The clinic looked the same. Still old, still struggling, still fighting. He almost left. She had probably moved on, built a life. Maybe even married. What right did he have to disrupt her peace after 5 years of silence? But then the door opened and she walked out. 30 years old now, more confident, more beautiful, more everything. Their eyes met. Time collapsed. Alex froze mid-step. Her face cycled through shock, confusion, anger, and something else. Something that looked dangerously like hope. Nathaniel. His name in her voice. God, he had forgotten how that sounded. Forgotten and remembered simultaneously. Hi. Stupid. Inadequate. Everything he wanted to say jammed in his throat. What are you doing here? My father had a stroke. He's alive but incapacitated. I'm running the company now. Alone. Free. Alex's eyes narrowed. And you came here first? After 5 years? No, I went home first. Spent 6 months making sure everything was secured. Making sure he couldn't hurt anyone even from a hospital bed. Making sure I had complete control. He took a breath. Then I came here to you, to see if maybe, after all this time, there's still a chance. A chance for what? For us? For the life we should have had. For everything we lost. Alex laughed, broken and bitter. You think you can walk back in after 5 years and pick up where we left off? No. I think I can walk back in and beg for the opportunity to start over. To prove I'm different now. To show you that I'm finally free to choose you without consequences. I've built a life without you. I know. I've been watching. The clinic expansion. Your pediatric program. You're incredible. That's creepy. Probably. But I needed to know you were okay. That you were happy. That my sacrifice meant something. Your sacrifice? Alex's voice rose. You left. Again. Without goodbye. Again. Left me a letter like that was supposed to make everything okay. I know. I'm sorry. I've been sorry for 5 years. But I couldn't come back until I knew he couldn't hurt you anymore. Until I had enough power to protect you from anything. Until loving you wouldn't be a death sentence for your family. And now you have that power. Now I have that power. So what? You want to ride in on your white horse and save me? Pick up our romance like no time passed? No, I want to grovel. I want to apologize for every day I wasn't there. I want to earn back your trust one painful piece at a time. I want a chance to prove that everything I did, as wrong as it was, came from loving you too much to let you be destroyed. Alex stepped closer. Tears streamed down her face. You don't understand. You left a hole in my life shaped exactly like you, and I've spent 5 years trying to fill it with anything else. Work, other people, purpose. Nothing fits. Nothing ever fit because they weren't you. Alex. But I'm also furious. I'm furious that you made choices for me, that you decided what I could handle, that you disappeared twice and expected me to just understand, she was shouting now. I'm furious that I still love you after everything, that I never stopped, that I'm standing here crying like a stupid girl who can't move on. You're not stupid. You're the strongest person I know. Then why do I feel so weak around you? Because love makes us vulnerable. It strips away armor and leaves us raw, and what we have? It's always been too big for either of us to carry alone. They stood inches apart, years of longing and pain and love between them like live wires. I don't know if I can do this again, Alex whispered. We don't have to decide tonight. Just let me take you to dinner. Let me start making up for 5 years of silence. Let me try. What if your father wakes up? What if he comes after me again? He's secured in a private facility. Monitored, controlled. Even if he wakes up, he has no power anymore. I made sure of it. Nathaniel took her hand. I spent 5 years preparing for this moment. 5 years making sure that when I came back, no one could take you away from me again. Let me prove it. Alex looked at their joined hands. One dinner, and then we talk. Really talk. About everything that happened. No more secrets. No more protecting me from hard truths. I promise. Don't make promises you can't keep. This one I can keep. Because I learned the hard way that protecting you by lying only hurts worse. They walked to a small restaurant, the same one from 5 years ago. The owner recognized them immediately, eyes widening, then smiling. He seated them at the same corner table. Over pasta and cheap wine, they talked. About 5 years apart, about loneliness and sacrifice, about mistakes and regrets. The conversation was raw, painful, honest in ways it had never been before. I should have told you about my father's threats from the beginning, Nathaniel admitted. Should have let you decide what risks to take. I should have fought harder for us. Should have found a way to reach you. I made that impossible. You did, and it nearly destroyed me. They sat in silence, holding hands across the table, trying to bridge 5 years in a single evening. Where do we go from here? Alex finally asked. Wherever you want. I'm not going anywhere this time. Promise? I promise. No more running, no more silent sacrifices. If we do this, we do it together, all in. Consequences be damned, Alex smiled. Sad but real. I'm terrified. Me too. But I want to try. God help me, I want to try. They left the restaurant hand in hand. The city glittered around them, full of promise, full of danger, full of possibility. Neither saw the man in the shadows. The private investigator hired by Richard Bradford 6 months ago, the camera clicking quietly, the evidence being gathered for one final strike. Richard Bradford might be in a hospital bed, but his reach was longer than anyone imagined. And he had been preparing for his son's rebellion long before the stroke, had known Nathaniel would eventually return to the Brooklyn nurse. Had planned for it, prepared for it. The final battle was coming, and neither Alex nor Nathaniel knew they were already in its opening moves. 3 months passed like a held breath. Alex and Nathaniel rebuilt their relationship piece by careful piece. Coffee dates that turned into long walks. Dinners where they learned each other again. Conversations that stretched until dawn. They didn't hide this time. Alex met his business associates. He attended her clinic fundraisers. They were building something real, something that could survive daylight. Then the letter arrived. Alex found it at the clinic. Heavy cream paper, Bradford Industries letterhead. Her hands shook as she opened it. Inside was a single photograph, her and Nathaniel kissing outside her apartment. Below it, typed in precise letters, "He will never be free of me. Neither will you, no signature. None needed." Alex called Nathaniel immediately. "Your father, he knows. He's been watching. That's impossible. He can't even leave his bed." "Then explain this." She sent him the photo, watched the color drain from his face when he opened it. "I'm coming to you. Don't go anywhere alone." Nathaniel arrived within the hour, pale, frightened, furious. He must have hired someone before the stroke. Set up surveillance. This was planned. What do we do? We end this, permanently. Nathaniel pulled out his phone. I'm calling my lawyer. Releasing everything I have on him. Every illegal deal. Every threatened witness. Every bribe. I'm burning his empire to the ground. That'll destroy you too. I don't care. I'm done living in his shadow. Done letting him control my life, even from a hospital bed. He cupped her face. I choose you. Completely. Whatever the cost. Nathaniel, think about this. I have. For 5 years. And I'm done thinking. He kissed her. Hard. Desperate. Stay here. Lock the doors. I'm going to the family lawyer. This ends today. He left. Alex stood in the empty clinic, holding a photograph that felt like a threat. She should have felt relieved. Should have trusted Nathaniel to handle it. Instead, she felt dread. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered against her better judgment. Miss Perry. The voice was old, weak, but unmistakable. Richard Bradford. How are you calling me? I'm in a hospital bed, not a grave. I have resources. Always have. Always will. His breathing was labored. My son thinks he's free. Thinks exposing my crimes will end this. He's wrong. What do you want? A conversation. Face to face. You and me. Come to the hospital. Alone. Or I make one phone call and your brother's scholarship disappears. Your mother's medical coverage vanishes. The clinic loses its nonprofit status. All of it. Gone. Before my son can do anything to stop it. You're bluffing. Am I? Test me, see what happens. Or come talk to me. 1 hour. That's all I ask. The line went dead. Alex stared at her phone. This was a trap. Obviously a trap. She should call Nathaniel. Should refuse. But Richard Bradford didn't make empty threats. She had learned that lesson 5 years ago. She grabbed her coat. The private hospital was all white walls and whispered efficiency. Richard Bradford's room was at the end of a long corridor. 2 security guards stood outside. They stepped aside when she arrived. Expected. Inside, Richard Bradford lay in bed, half his face slack from the stroke, but his eyes sharp. Calculating. Alive with malice. You came. His words slurred slightly. Smart girl. Say what you need to say. Direct. I like that. He gestured to a chair. Sit, please. Alex remained standing. You have 1 hour. I don't need an hour. Just 5 minutes of honesty. Richard's good hand gripped the bed rail. You love my son. Yes. And he loves you. Yes. But you're destroying him. Not intentionally, but inevitably. Richard's eyes held hers. My son is brilliant, capable, born to lead. But he's weak where you're concerned. He'll sacrifice everything for you. The company, the legacy, his own future, all of it, because he can't see past his feelings. That's his choice. Is it? Or are you letting him martyr himself for a relationship that can never work? Richard coughed, wincing. You're from different worlds, different values, different expectations. Right now, in the beginning, love seems like enough. But in 5 years, 10, when the shine fades and reality sets in, when he resents sacrificing his birthright and you resent being the reason, you don't know what you're talking about, don't I? I married my wife for love. Real love. She was a secretary. My father disowned me. For 5 years, we struggled, fought, barely survived. The resentment grew until we couldn't remember why we fell in love. His voice cracked. When my father finally died and I inherited, it was too late. The damage was done. She hated me for making her poor. I hated her for costing me my father's respect. Love died slowly, painfully. We stayed together for Nathaniel. But it was hell. Alex felt something crack inside. That won't happen to us. You can't know that. Nobody can. But I can tell you what will happen if you stay together. Nathaniel will release evidence against me. My empire will crumble. He'll be investigated too. Guilty by association, his name will be mud in every business circle. He'll lose everything building a new life from scratch. He says he doesn't care. Now, while love is fresh. But in 2 years, 5, when he's working double shifts to pay rent, when he can't provide the way he's used to providing, when he sees classmates from prep school living the life he gave up, Richard's gaze intensified. He'll resent you. Maybe not consciously, but the resentment will poison everything. I've seen it happen. Why are you telling me this? Because despite what you think, I love my son. And I'm dying. The stroke was a warning. The next one will kill me. I have maybe a year left, maybe less. He struggled to sit up slightly. I want to know he'll be okay after I'm gone. That he'll run the company, continue the legacy, have the life I built for him. But he won't do that with you in the picture. He'll destroy everything for love. And love won't pay the bills when it fades. Alex felt tears threatening. You want me to leave him? I want you to free him. There's a difference. Walk away now, cleanly, while you both still have futures ahead of you. Let him grieve. Let him hate me, but let him keep the empire. Keep his future. In 5 years, he'll thank you. He'll realize you loved him enough to let go. Or he'll never forgive me. Possibly. But he'll be successful, secure, able to provide for whatever family he eventually builds. Isn't that better than dragging him down into struggle and resentment? This is manipulation, just like before. This is a dying man being honest. I have nothing left to lose. No reason to manipulate. Just truth. Richard's breathing grew labored. You can stay with him. Fight for your love. Watch him sacrifice everything and slowly grow to resent you. Or you can walk away. Let him keep his birthright. Give him a chance at the life he was born for. Your choice. He won't take the company if I leave. He'll chase after me. Not if you make him hate you. Not if you hurt him badly enough that he can't follow. Richard's smile was cruel. Make him believe you were using him all along. That you wanted his money and status. That you're leaving because you found someone richer. Destroy the fantasy. Let him hate you. In a year, when he's running the company successfully, he'll understand why you did it. That's monstrous. That's mercy. Cruel mercy, but mercy nonetheless. Love him enough to set him free. Or love him selfishly enough to let him destroy himself for you. Richard closed his eyes. Your hour is up. The guards will show you out. Whatever you decide, decide quickly. My son will be here soon with lawyers and evidence. After that, the choice is made for you. Alex left the hospital in a daze. Her phone showed 17 missed calls from Nathaniel. She didn't call back. Couldn't. Not until she knew what to do. She walked Brooklyn streets until sunset. Past the clinic. Past their restaurant. Past every place they had built memories. Richard's words echoed in her skull. Was she destroying Nathaniel? Would resentment inevitably poison their love? Could love really survive the weight of sacrifice? She thought about her parents. How her father's pride had slowly eroded under financial stress. How her mother's joy had dimmed with each unpaid bill. How poverty ground down even the strongest love into something bitter and sharp. Was she doing that to Nathaniel? Letting him sacrifice an empire for a love that might not survive reality? Her phone rang. Nathaniel. She answered. Hey, where have you been? I've been losing my mind. The lawyers are ready. We can file everything tonight. By morning, my father's empire starts crumbling and we're free. Nathaniel, I need to tell you something. Something in her tone made him pause. What's wrong? I can't do this anymore. Silence. Then carefully, can't do what? Us, this relationship, this fantasy that we can make this work. Alex, what are you talking about? I'm talking about reality. You're about to destroy your future for me. Give up billions, your family legacy, everything. And for what? A nurse from Brooklyn who can barely pay her student loans? For love. For us. For the life we deserve together. But what life is that, Nathaniel? Struggling in a one-bedroom apartment? You working entry-level because your name is poison? Me feeling guilty every day for ruining your life? Her voice hardened. Became something cruel. I can't be the reason you throw away everything. You're not. I'm choosing this. No. I'm choosing this. And I choose to walk away. This was fun. The fantasy. The summer romance. The dramatic reunion. But I'm tired of living in a fairy tale. I want stability. Security. A future that doesn't involve constantly fighting your family. You don't mean that, don't I? Think about it, Nathaniel. What do I gain from this relationship? You're about to be broke, disgraced, fighting legal battles for years. What woman in her right mind would sign up for that? Alex, stop. I met someone else. Another doctor at the hospital. He's successful, stable, uncomplicated. No family drama. No billion-dollar consequences. Just a normal relationship with a normal future. You're lying. Am I? Or am I finally being honest? I loved the idea of you, the excitement, the danger, the forbidden romance. But I don't want to spend my life struggling. I've done enough of that. Time to be practical. Look at me and say that. His voice broke. Come here. Look me in the eye and tell me you don't love me. I don't need to prove anything to you. This is over. Go back to your father. Take the company. Live the life you were meant to live. Find someone appropriate. Someone from your world. After everything we've been through, everything we've sacrificed, you're just giving up? I'm being smart. Something you should try. Go save your empire. Forget about me. We were never going to work anyway. She forced ice into her voice. Goodbye, Nathaniel. Don't call me again. She ended the call. Turned off her phone. Collapsed against a brick wall and sobbed until she couldn't breathe. This was love. Not the pretty kind from movies. The kind that cut like glass. The kind that sacrificed happiness for future good. The kind that destroyed you while saving someone else. 3 months passed. Alex threw herself into work. Moved to a different apartment. Changed her number. Avoided every place they had been together. The pain was constant. A wound that wouldn't heal. But she told herself it was necessary. That Nathaniel would eventually understand. That she had freed him to be who he was meant to be. She heard through the news that he had taken over Bradford Industries. That the company was thriving. That he was engaged to someone appropriate. Someone from his world. Someone who made sense. It destroyed her. But it also proved her right. He had moved on. Built the life he deserved. Without her dragging him down. She was sitting in her new apartment, staring at nothing, when someone knocked on her door. Probably a delivery. She opened it without checking. Nathaniel stood there. Thinner. Older. Angrier. Alive. You think I'm stupid? His voice was quiet. Deadly. You think I didn't figure it out? Alex's heart stopped. Nathaniel. My father had one visitor the day you broke up with me. One. You. He's dead now, by the way. Died 2 weeks ago. Final stroke. But before he died, he confessed. Told his nurse everything. How he manipulated you. What he said. What you did. Nathaniel stepped inside, closing the door. You sacrificed yourself to save me. Again. I don't know what you're talking about. Stop lying. The shout echoed. Then softer. Please stop lying. I found out about the engagement from the press, too. Completely fabricated. My PR team's idea to stop questions about my personal life. There is no other woman. There's never been anyone but you. And you. Playing martyr. Letting me think you betrayed me to protect me from my own choices. Nathani. I spent 3 months hating you. 3 months thinking everything between us was a lie. Building walls. Burying feelings. Becoming the cold businessman my father always wanted. He grabbed her shoulders. Then I found out the truth. That you loved me enough to destroy yourself. To let me hate you. To walk away from everything so I could keep an empire I never wanted. You're engaged. Successful. You have everything. I have nothing. The engagement is fake. The company means nothing without you. Success is hollow when I can't share it with the only person who ever mattered. You think you saved me? You destroyed me. Just in a different way. Alex felt walls crumbling. Your father said you'd resent me. That poverty would poison our love. That I'd be dragging you down. My father was a liar. A manipulator. A man who couldn't imagine love surviving sacrifice because his didn't. But we're not them. Nathaniel cupped her face, thumbs wiping away tears. I don't care about money. Don't care about the company. Don't care about anything except being with you. Rich or poor. Struggling or comfortable. None of it matters without you. But the empire, your legacy, is mine to keep or give away. My choice, not his. Not yours, mine. And I choose you. I'll always choose you, even when you try to choose for me. I was trying to give you a better life. You are my better life. Don't you understand that yet? Every version of success means nothing if you're not there. I'd rather struggle with you than have everything without you. I'm so sorry. I thought I was doing the right thing. I know. But we're done with sacrifice. Done with noble gestures. Done with protecting each other by leaving. He pressed his forehead to hers. From now on, we choose together. We fight together. We fail or succeed together. No more martyrs. No more walking away. Just us, building a life, whatever that looks like. What if your father was right? What if we struggle and resentment grows? Then we work through it. Like people do. Like couples do. We don't give up at the first sign of hardship. We fight for it. Because what we have is rare. Worth fighting for. Worth struggling for. I love you. The words came out broken. I never stopped. Not for 1 second, I know. I love you too. More than money. More than legacy. More than anything. He kissed her. Soft, gentle, like sealing a promise. Come home with me, real home. Not a penthouse, not an apartment. Somewhere we choose together. Somewhere we build a life that's ours. What about the company? I'm stepping down, selling my shares, setting up a trust to fund community clinics. Your clinics. Using my father's money to undo some of his damage. He smiled. I'm going back to school. Architecture. Something I always wanted to do but never could. We'll both be students. Both be starting over. Both be figuring it out together. That's crazy. Probably. But I'm done being practical. Done living for other people's expectations. Time to live for us. Alex laughed through tears. We're really doing this? Starting over? No safety net? No guarantees? Best time to start is now. Before we're too old to be reckless. We might fail. We might. But at least we'll fail together. They left the apartment hand in hand. The city sprawled before them, full of uncertainty and possibility. No empire, no family pressure, no predetermined future. Just two people choosing each other. Again. Finally. Permanently. 6 months later, they stood in a tiny chapel in Brooklyn. No society wedding, no press. Just family and friends, vows spoken with tears and laughter, promises made without prenups or safety nets. Two people building something from nothing. Together, the clinic expanded. Nathaniel designed beautiful, functional spaces that brought light into dark corners. Alex hired staff and developed programs. They worked side by side, struggled with bills sometimes, ate cheap dinners and laughed about it, built a life that was small and loud and perfect. Years passed. Children came. A boy with Nathaniel's eyes and Alex's stubborn chin. A girl with Alex's smile and Nathaniel's quiet intensity. They grew up in a home where love was loud and money was just a tool, not a weapon. Sometimes late at night, Nathaniel would pull out old photographs. The young man in a tailored suit standing outside a Brooklyn clinic. The nurse with tired eyes and a kind smile. Two people who almost didn't make it. Almost gave up. Almost let fear win. Do you ever regret it? Alex asked once, curled against him on their worn couch. Giving up everything? Every day. He smiled at her shocked expression. I regret not doing it sooner. Not fighting harder in the beginning. Not trusting that love could survive reality. He kissed her forehead. But giving up the company? The money? The Bradford legacy? Not for 1 second. That wasn't giving up everything. It was gaining everything that mattered. Sentimental old man. You're a sentimental old man. Yeah. She pressed closer. Mine, outside, Brooklyn hummed with life. The clinic served thousands. The foundation funded clinics in dozens of cities. The Bradford name, once synonymous with ruthless business, became associated with community health and second chances. Richard Bradford's empire had crumbled. But from its ruins, something better grew. Something built on love instead of power, on giving instead of taking, on choosing right over easy. In the end, destiny wasn't about wealth or status. It wasn't about family legacy or social expectations. It was about two souls finding each other across impossible odds and choosing each other, again and again, through sacrifice and betrayal, through pain and healing, through every test that tried to tear them apart. They had fought for their love, suffered for it, almost lost it completely. But they had learned the most important lesson, that real love doesn't surrender to circumstance. It doesn't sacrifice itself nobly and walk away. It stands firm, fights back, chooses again, even when choosing is hard. Nathaniel Bradford and Alex Perry built a small life that felt enormous, raised children who understood that wealth was measured in love, not dollars, created a legacy not of buildings and money, but of healing and community. And every morning, when Nathaniel woke to find Alex beside him, hair messy and face soft with sleep, he thanked whatever force had brought them together, had tested them, had tried to break them, and had failed, because some loves are bigger than obstacles, stronger than manipulation, more powerful than fear. Some loves are simply meant to be, no matter what stands in the way. The end.